What's up, Magical Misfits? Drew here. Okay, so I'm a Pisces and my birthday is at the end of February. So this month I've just decided I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Now, granted, on my channel, I make the content that I want to see, the content that I want to make, but I do take into consideration other factors such as trying to think about whether or not I believe it's something that the people who subscribe to me will enjoy watching as well. There are times where I just make it because I want to, but I think the majority of my content is content that I want to make, but that I think there will be people who will also enjoy. I mean, hopefully you enjoy the content I'm going to make this month if you watch, but honestly, I'm just like, whatever. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And if nobody likes it, nobody likes it. It's still going to be in the vein of stuff that's normally on my channel. And it's still from me and whatever. But, some of the videos, a couple of the videos may be unusual content. I haven't fully pinned down everything I'm going to do, to be perfectly honest. I know 2 things for sure, and I'm almost positive about a 3rd. And I'll only be making probably 4 videos this month anyway, so it's whatever. But I've got some ideas in my head that are kind of weird. So if they come out, I don't know. Hopefully anybody who watches will enjoy. At any rate, being my birthday month, I'm just going to make whatever kind of video I want to make. I haven't done this before. This is my 3rd February on YouTube, but I just decided I'm just going to do what I want to do. Today's video, I feel like, aligns well with my content and the stuff I create anyway, so I am going to be doing some intuitive painting today. So for anyone who may not know what that is, there may be more than one method. So this, of course, is just the method that I'm familiar with and that I use. You can use any kind of medium you want. You could probably even draw, though that would take a long time. Like chalk pastels, like scribbling on the paper, or acrylic paint. I use watercolor paint just because I like it. And my purpose when I do this is not going to be to make a painting. It's just going to be putting color on the paper. Now, you can set intention before you do this. I could make a sigil, draw a sigil on the paper, or write an intention, or any number of things to prepare the paper, the canvas, whatever you're using before I get started. I don't typically do this. I typically kind of just let it happen. So you're not going to see this part, but in between here while I'm talking to you and when I actually go to do the painting, I'm going to take a moment to do some deep breathing and to kind of get centered and get myself in this open, intuitive space, because that's what this is to me. After I put all the ink on the page, I'm going to show you how I look at it and how I interpret it. And it is very much a tool for looking into my own psychology. It is also a tool for receiving higher guidance. And it's a divinatory tool, kind of. It can be, depending on how you use it and how you work with it. So yeah, I'm going to let y'all watch me paint on the page. And then afterward, after it dries, which with watercolor, that won't take long, we're going to look at it. And I'm going to show you my process of interpreting my intuitive paintings. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to try to keep everything in frame for you guys. I have a little watercolor palette here, all kinds of pretty colors in it. It comes with a paintbrush, inexpensive at Walmart, a little cup of water, several brushes because I don't know if I'm going to want to change them up or who knows what's going to happen. And then my watercolor pad, again, inexpensive at Walmart. I'm sure you can get them at Michael's and all kinds of other places. But all right, I'm going to take a minute just to get myself situated and in the headspace I want to be in for this. I don't know what happened, but the button got mashed and it got paused, and I don't know what got recorded and what didn't. But I mean, as you can tell, it's all very random at the moment. I've used a couple of different brushes. I said while I was painting over here, I was telling you that I was not thinking about the outcome of what was happening. I was just allowing whatever color first pops in mind or that I'm drawn to, putting that on the page and just allowing my hand to do what it did, whatever it does, right? And then I'm over here on this piece painting, and I'm telling you that In the beginning, when I started doing this sort of intuitive painting exercise, I was really caught up in the aesthetics, and I wanted it to look really nice. And you're painting, you have this feeling that it should be some kind of beautiful artistic expression. I don't know, I did. But through practice, through doing this process over time, I came to a point where I was okay with it. I'm okay with it. It doesn't have to be perfect in the least. I don't worry about like this is some random little thing. There's nothing beautiful about what's happening on this page to me. It doesn't make a cohesive picture to me at this point. But in the end, when I go to interpret it and it's this larger image, it just doesn't, I get a different kind of fulfillment out of it. And it doesn't bug me that it's not a cohesive piece of art, if that makes sense. I'm sorry that I have been just painting away and you guys have not been along for the journey. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it got paused, but it did. At any rate, you're here now. I'm actually going to turn the page and come at it from a different angle. I don't necessarily always do that, but I want to do it today, so. My only objective here is to try to basically fill the page with color. That's the gist of what I'm doing here. No rhyme or reason. And I will say, you don't have to have color all over the whole page. That's entirely up to you. I mean, white does serve as a background and, you know, accents and highlights and what have you. So just go with it. I'm gonna call it done. And it's basically already dry. And now comes time for interpretation. Look at it head on. This is basically the way I painted it. I did move it a bit, but this is essentially the view of painting when I painted it. And just kind of let my eyes relax a little bit and interpret it, and feel free to join in. But I mean, I can't help but kind of see like maybe a mountain range here. And this to me looks like, from this angle, a little bird. Here's his little beak and here's his eye. And this kind of looks like some weird little dude on fire. Or maybe even it's like something is coming out of him, because like here could be a head, like some kind of fire being. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna turn it. I don't know if that's gonna fit all the way in the frame for you guys this way. No, it's not. It doesn't look hugely different to me from this angle, though this could be like a tarantula or something down here. This does read differently to me from this angle, though I'm not really getting anything out of it other than maybe this is someone with a headdress and a cape on now. And this looks very different from this angle to me. This almost looks like, I don't know if you guys can see, this almost looks like an arm coming off of this. I don't know why this doesn't look like, visually it's not reading as what but like I feel like something in a cocoon coming out. That's like what I keep coming back to with that. Oh wow. Okay, so from this angle, this to me is almost heart-shaped. I don't know why. I don't see a clear cohesive image yet, but like to me they fit together better this way. I don't know, the image fits this way somehow. I'm getting a very elemental vibe from it. Like somehow it's reading earth, air, fire, water, spirit. This would definitely be water, and this would definitely be earth and spirit. And I'm not sure which one is fire and air. Again, with this weird little, it's not a bird. To me, it's more like a fae kind of creature. It's interesting because from this angle, this almost looks like a bird's nest to me, whereas it looked like a bird from the other angle. And this, you know, again, if it's interpretive and it's sort of vague, this almost looks like skull and crossbone. So I'm not at present getting any clear message from this painting, but that often happens with me. For example, let me show you another. So I'm actually kind of annoyed. I've put my intuitive paintings folder that I keep all my paintings in somewhere, and I don't know where that is. I can't find it. Seriously annoyed. I can't figure out for the life of me where I would have put it. At any rate, I was going to show you one that had vultures on it. Very clearly had vultures on it, but that didn't immediately jump out to me. It took me a while to see that. So I like to look at it, but then I like to go away for a while and come back and look again. And typically I will get more out of it than I did the first time. At any rate, I will flip it around on the screen, and all of you can examine it from every angle. And if you see something, let me know in the comments. I would be happy to hear your interpretation of what you're seeing. This one is so bright and colorful. I don't normally do them this bright and colorful, but that's what came out. So there you go. This is my intuitive painting. This is how I do intuitive painting. I just put paint on the page and then turn it to every angle and examine it and see what images pop out at me, what I see, what I get out of the picture. Okay, so I was able to find the other intuitive piece that I wanted to show you so that you could get a better example of what it is that I do. First off, you can see that there's writing all over here. This is what I do. Sometimes I'll date them. It doesn't really matter, but I will write down what the messages I got out of the picture were. Now, when I painted this one, I painted it this way at this angle, and I originally didn't see much, and I left it for a while and came back, and then, you know, I did the whole flipping it around, and when I got to this angle, I automatically saw vultures, just vultures everywhere. So that, you know, that's kind of how this works for me. I'll sit with it and I'll be flipping it around, and instantly, like a bolt out of the blue, I get it. Oh, this is vultures. And so I wrote down, you know, vulture medicine, purification, death, new beginnings, rebirth. And this message ended up being a lot more significant than I realized until recently, actually. But I'm going to go and I'm going to get into a intuitive, receptive space again, like I did before painting. I'm going to rip it out of the pad and I'm going to sit with it and turn it and see what happens. But typically it's just instantaneous. There's nothing. And I'm just like, this is nothing. And then all of a sudden, there it is. This is the best example. That's why I use this one. But they're not always this sort of, I mean, obvious and cohesive when you look at them. But yeah, I'm going to sit with that one and see what I come up with. Let me know if you've got any cool interpretations for it, or whatever, any interpretations, period. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And until next time, much love and gratitude.